But the big story, the stage is set for Jyotiraditya Scindia, the former Congress MP, to join the BJP at the party headquarters in the national capital. Home Minister Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, Nitin Gadkari and other senior leaders have reached the BJP headquarters. Jyotiraditya Scindia is expected to reach the party headquarters any moment, where he is to be inducted into the BJP. Earlier today, Scindia resigned from the Congress and in a letter to Sonia Gandhi dated the 9th of March said it was time for him to move on. Scindia, remember, has been on the move in the national capital since the morning. He met Prime Minister Modi and the former BJP President Amit Shah earlier and also met BJP Chief JP Nadda. Scindia is clearly a man with a mission. Okay, those are pictures that we are getting of Jyotiraditya Scindia leaving his residence. We believe he is expected to go to the BJP headquarters. Remember, Jyotiraditya Scindia has not spoken to the press as yet, even after he handed over that resignation to the Congress leadership and went and met Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. Those images, we'll try and go back to them in a while from now. Jyotiraditya Scindia driving off there. We expect him to go to the BJP headquarters. Clearly, it seems that the end game has been reached. Mr. Scindia doesn't want to speak at the moment. We expect him to speak in a short while from now and really reiterate his position. I'm joined at this moment by Dr. Sandeep Shastri, political scientist, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Jain University. In the studios, Javed Ansari, senior journalist, Ajit Jha, editor, researcher, India Today. Jyotiraditya Scindia, self-driving. Let's try and wait and see whether he speaks to the media and to the media. What do you make out of this, Javed Ansari? What you're seeing playing out, and it's been playing out since this morning. This seems to be the end game. Jyotiraditya Scindia has clearly decided to go with the BJP. What do you think happens next?
Well, I think the die is cast as far as Mr. Kamal Nath's government is concerned. Although, having spoken to senior functionaries in the government, they are still hopeful that it's not over yet. It's a very tall order, but they feel it's not over yet because, look, let's not forget, they have a congressman who's a speaker. The speaker can follow the precedent set by his colleague, by the Speaker of the Karnataka Assembly. Personally call each of the MLAs and verify. This would give Mr. Kamal Nath a few days
time. That's all he gets
is
time. Let's be very clear. Yes. All Kamal Nath has at the moment is a little bit of time. The momentum is clearly with the BJP.
With the BJP.
22 MLAs have already shifted sides. That throws the government into a minority. And there is a possibility that even more could join. Dr. Sandeep Shastri, would you agree with that? Momentum now clearly with the BJP.
Rajdeep, momentum has been with the BJP since 2014 and the Congress does not seem to have recovered from the 2014 defeat. And if you look at what's happening today, if you look at Jyotiraditya Scindia's move, this is clearly an indication within the Congress that the party has not got its act together, and the next line of leadership in the Congress, which has been waiting impatiently for so long, is not being given its due. So I think this is a crisis in the Congress which the Congress needs to wake up and deal with at least now, something that they have closed their eyes to for the last 6 years.
Is this a Congress crisis or is this the BJP fishing in troubled waters in Madhya Pradesh? Why do you think someone like Jyotiraditya Scindia, who was seen as a leading light of the Gen Next of the Congress, has taken such a big decision?
Rajdeep, unless you put your house in order, your neighbors can never come and destroy it, right? It is the Congress's crisis. In fact, the crisis started much before the Madhya Pradesh State Assembly election. At that time, when senior leader Digvijay Singh was trying to restructure the party within Madhya Pradesh, we were reportedly told that it was the Scindia in areas of influence where they were having the maximum problem. Obviously, there was a leadership fight going on inside the Congress between Kamal Nath and Jyotiraditya Scindia, in which Digvijay Singh was supporting, Kamal Nath. From then on, if you see, the writing is on the wall. On Article 370 in August, Jyotiraditya Scindia openly supported the BJP. After that, several moves you would see Jyotiraditya Scindia very uncomfortable. During the UP Assembly elections, when it was taking place, at that time, Priyanka Gandhi, a total greenhorn, was suddenly made in charge of the more prominent eastern UP areas where the Congress had done
During
well,
the Lok Sabha.
and during the Lok Sabha, and Jyotiraditya Scindia was given, the western UP, and he was clearly at a loss. He was not sort of, he felt very, very uncomfortable. So I think the simple point is the Congress needs to get its act on,
the Congress needs to get its act together, Manisha Priyam, is one way to look at this. The other way to look at it is that today there is nothing there are no ideological or moral factors that hold a party together, except for the power principle. Jyotiraditya Scindia, by all accounts, is going to get a Rajya Sabha seat from the BJP, has been promised a ministership in the Modi government, and his people will be accommodated in the Shivraj Singh Chauhan government in Bhopal. How do you see this? Is this pure power play, or is this the Congress imploding after its Lok Sabha defeat?
So the sheer logic of power play overturns years and years of history. I remember Madhav Rao Scindia weeping by the side of his deceased mother Rajmata Vijayaraje Scindia and saying that it was Sardar Angade who divided the family. Remember, between the two large national parties, there was Rajmata Scindia with the side of the Janasangh, and there was Madhav Rao Scindia upon his return from education abroad, who went over after a brief stint with the Bharatiya Janasangh. He went over to the Congress party, remained there, had the courage and the guts even to revolt from the Narasimha Rao model of the Congress party, and remained a loyalist to the Sonia Gandhi model of the Congress party. Now today you see that on one rift over Rajya Sabha seats and on issues of the Madhya Pradesh Congress Committee chieftainship, I think the division has been so wide that Jyotiraditya Scindia has decided that if he is not made what he is wanted to, it's worth turning whatever his own ideological lineage was like. And I can also say that with this happening, we can see that the Amit Shah model of party running is also about getting any stature of leaders from anywhere into the BJP, but even after an election is lost, such that it is no longer clear to the citizens as to how one party is different from another.
No, I take your point.
The same thing that happened in Jharkhand with Babulal Marandi taking over the reins of the party.
I take your point, Manisha Priyam, but the question will arise, Javed Ansari, why didn't the Congress, which knew that Scindia was in a sense uncomfortable, was feeling neglected, make a greater effort to reach out to him? Yesterday, all day he was in his residence. What stopped a Sonia Gandhi, a Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Rahul Gandhi, a Kamal Nath, a Digvijay Singh from going public there, from going in front of the cameras, trying to reach out to him? So in a sense, some would say there is also the Congress arrogance. That okay, if you have made up your mind to go with the BJP, we are not going to make any effort to reach out to you.
I don't think it's entirely correct to say that they didn't make an effort, but when they started the effort, it was too late. He wanted to be PCC chief.
Could they not have made him that?
No, Mr. Kamal Nath put his foot down. He says, I cannot run I cannot run a government with these numbers with a hostile PCC chief. This is also much of this is happening because the writ of the central leadership of the Congress party is not as strong as they are unable to enforce things. Otherwise, in the olden days when the Congress was ruling the roost, they could have asked Mr. Kamal Nath and he would have no option but to comply. Mr. Scindia, a part of the reason why he's jumped ship is because, like him, there are others also who feel there is no future here and there is now an option available in the form of BJP.
I think that's a good point, that many of the younger leaders feel that there is no future for them in this rudderless Congress. Having said that, Amit Malviya, let's also be honest. The BJP has been working at this from all indications for weeks. Shivraj Singh Chauhan admitted to us this morning that he has been in Delhi, parked here for a week. So the BJP is clearly fishing in troubled waters. And according to the Congress, at least they are claiming that large amounts of money have been offered to MLAs to switch sides, as was the case in Karnataka.
Rajdeep, we are a political party, and by all means, we obviously want to be in power. And if you look at Madhya Pradesh in particular, while the Congress got a few seats more than us, the BJP's vote share was more than the Congress. So clearly it was a very fragile majority, if you like, that the Congress had managed, and they were supposedly running the government. Now, if they can't keep their flock together and 22 of their MLAs, including several ministers, resign, then they surely can't blame the BJP for it. Why is it that their ministers were upset? I'm sure they had no dearth of money, if that's really what they are alleging has been offered to them to switch sides. I find this argument very bizarre, because every time the Congress is not able to manage its flock, it prefers to blame the BJP rather than look within. Is it their argument that the BJP has bought out Scindia and got him to resign? Or is it the fact that for the last 1.5 years he has been publicly disagreeing with the Congress's leadership? For a minute, let's leave Scindia and Madhya Pradesh on the side. Look at what happened in Rajasthan. They made Sachin Pilot the Pradesh Congress chief, and when it came to taking over the mantle of the chief minister, they preferred somebody who the Gandhis were quite comfortable with. There is a problem in the way the Congress is operating today. The Gandhis obviously don't want any other young leader to emerge who can be a competition to Rahul Gandhi. That's why you have people like Scindia, Jitin Prasada, Milind Deora, Sachin Pilot, all on the sidelines. And you have these 70-year-old plus Gandhi loyalists becoming chief ministers.
Let me stop you for a moment.
Why Sonia Gandhi should be the president of the Congress for 19 long years, despite a very mixed electoral track record. When she gives up the presidency, Rahul Gandhi comes in, loses 45 elections or perhaps more. Mother goes back and takes the presidentship again. Are you saying there are no leaders in the Congress party? I bet if you throw a stone, it will hit a Congress worker who probably be more talented than Rahul Gandhi.
Let me stop you for a moment, Amit Malviya. Let me stop you for a moment. You're saying that this is entirely a Congress internal battle and the failure of the Congress to give space to the younger generation of leaders. Meanwhile, the breaking news that we are getting is that BJP Central Election Committee meeting has ended, and sources are saying that Jyotiraditya Scindia, who was expected to join the BJP this evening, is unlikely to join the party today. So the waiting game in that sense could well continue for a while longer. Ashok Singhal is our man at the spot at the BJP headquarters. Ashok, क्या जानकारी है? आज शाम तक ये कहा जा रहा था कि ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया आज ही ज्वाइन करेंगे भाजपा को. अब जो खबर आ रही है वो शायद कल तक टल गया है.
बिल्कुल राजदीप, अभी सीसी की मीटिंग खत्म हुई और कुछ नेताओं से हमारी बातचीत हुई. उनका कहना है कि आज ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया बीजेपी में शामिल नहीं होंगे. हो सकता है कल करें. कल की कोई डेट नहीं दी गई है, लेकिन उम्मीद की जा रही है. और दोपहर के बाद से जैसे जेपी नड्डा और सुबह प्राइम मिनिस्टर और अमित शाह से मुलाकात हुई, उसके बाद जेपी नड्डा पार्टी अध्यक्ष से मुलाकात हुई, तब ये उम्मीद की जा रही थी कि आज ही सीसी की मीटिंग से पहले ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया यहाँ पे आकर के हेडक्वार्टर में ज्वाइन करेंगे. लेकिन काफ़ी उम्मीद करते रहे, इंतजार करते रहे, लेकिन फाइनली ये हुआ कि आज सिंधिया बीजेपी में शामिल नहीं होंगे. इसके पीछे कोई बड़ा कारण तो नहीं है, क्योंकि कांग्रेस छोड़ चुके हैं, बीजेपी में उनको शामिल होना ही है, इसमें भी कोई संदेह नहीं है. लेकिन उम्मीद की जा रही है कि कल सिंधिया बीजेपी में शामिल हो सकते हैं. सीसी की मीटिंग अभी 5 मिनट पहले ही खत्म हुई है राजदीप, और सिंधिया को लेके चीजें क्लियर हो गई है कि आज वो शामिल नहीं होंगे.
अशोक, ये भी चर्चा चल रही है कि सिंधिया जी को राज्यसभा टिकट भी बीजेपी दे रही है, और उसके साथ साथ ये भी कहा जा रहा है उनको मंत्रालय दिया जाएगा मोदी सरकार में. क्या इस तरह की जो बातें हो रही है इसमें कोई सच्चाई है या नहीं?
बिल्कुल, जो बीजेपी सोर्सेज से जो खबर आई है राजदीप की उनको कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर बनाया जाएगा. जब पार्लियामेंट सेशन खत्म हो जाएगा, अप्रैल में एक्सपेंशन संभावित है मोदी सरकार का, उसमें उनको ये इंडक्ट किया जाएगा सरकार के अंदर. और उससे पहले क्योंकि राज्यसभा अभी घोषणा होनी है, आज सीसी की मीटिंग हुई राज्यसभा उम्मीदवारों को लेकर के, तो उम्मीद की जा रही है कि आज कल में उनका नाम घोषित किया जाएगा राज्यसभा उम्मीदवार के तौर पर मध्य प्रदेश से. उसके बाद अप्रैल में जब कैबिनेट का एक्सपेंशन होगा उसमें उनको इंडक्ट कर लिया जाएगा.
Right. Okay. Ashok Singhal there joining us at this moment from the BJP headquarters. Now remember, the BJP has been working on this for a while. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the man who is expected to lead the Madhya Pradesh government if this government falls, is clearly a man now with a mission. And the BJP is very clear. As Vinay Sahasrabudhe, their senior leader from Madhya Pradesh, or vice president in charge of Madhya Pradesh, told us, the party is very clear. This is the Congress which is unraveling. The BJP did not push Scindia to leave the party. Listen into what Vinay Sahasrabudhe said a short while ago to us.
Will the BJP try to give a credible, stable government in case the government collapses?
Yes, of course. I mean, there is a track record as well. And as it is, if you go by the vote percentage, we had the clear mandate, in fact, just because of some arithmetical kind of gap in between, we were kept away from the power. But now if the events eventually lead to the establishment of a BJP government, naturally we will serve the people.
You know, the BJP clearly is in pole position now, Dr. Sandeep Shastri, to form a government in Madhya Pradesh. But there will still be questions over Jyotiraditya Scindia's politics. Here is someone who the Congress made a minister at the age of 35. He was a 3-time minister in the Manmohan Singh government. He's been given various important positions within the party structure. And yet he's chosen to leave because he was not made the MP Congress president and there was no guarantee of a Rajya Sabha seat. Does Mr. Scindia, someone who comes from a political dynasty, have enough reason to actually rebel to the point where he is joining the BJP? A party which till the other day he claimed he was a fierce opponent of.
Rajdeep, to read Jyotiraditya's resignation speech letter tongue-in-cheek, he says it's time to move on, which means, you see, I have got what I got, now it's time to move on. But more seriously,
no, that's a corporate way of looking at life.
In the last 1.5 years,
that's what
there were
corporates do.
very clear expectations with Jyotiraditya Scindia head.
So sorry to intervene, Dr. Shastri. Time to move on is what someone who's leaving a job
last 1.5
decides.
years,
This is a political party, not a job.
Right. Now, time to move on means I have to move on to greener pastures in
Exactly.
that sense, you see. So I think last 1.5 years, there were so many expectations that he had when he led the party, in a sense, in Madhya Pradesh during the campaign, the hope that he'll become chief minister, then the non-rehabilitation after the defeat in the Lok Sabha election, not being given PCC presidentship, not likely to be the first Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha candidate from the state. Now all these factors, I think, must have played on and resulted in this frustration ultimately expressing itself this way. Now, I agree with you, people talk of disciplined workers in a party, but at the end of the day, I think a leader also looks at what the party gives him or her, and also what future does this party have for younger leaders. No, I think this question is coming up, and if you read a little closely into what Mr. Amit Malviya said, Mr. Amit Malviya mentioned many other names when talking about Jyotiraditya Scindia. So is that a reflection of the days to come? I don't know.
It possibly is. You know, there was talk of Jitin Prasad even during the Lok Sabha elections, for example, switching sides. There has been a buzz around Milind Deora as well. But what does that say about the party system? That, you know, I am feeling neglected in a particular party. I decide automatically to switch over to another party who I have regarded as my prime ideological opponent. Where does this leave the notion, the increasingly frayed and fraught notion of ideology in Indian politics?
Well, you know, Rajdeep, certainly Mr. Scindia is an ambitious man, but look at his heritage. I mean, his grandmother, she was part of the Congress, then she left, became an independent 53 years ago, and then went over to the BJP.
She actually brought down a Madhya Pradesh government in 1967.
Exactly. Look at his father. His father was part of the BJP, then switched to Congress, then for a while rebelled. And therefore, in Madhya Pradesh is a typical bi-party state, unlike Bihar and UP. And Congress and BJP, although they have been main rivals, but you have seen this movement between the two parties. And number three,
Much more now than in the past. Let's be honest. In the era of the Sundarlal Patwans, the Kailash Joshis on one side, Kushabhau Thakres,
The Arjun Singhs
and the Arjun Singhs and Digvijay Singhs on the other.
Shukla
There used to be clear. By and large, there was a clear BJP Congress divide.
you know, Rajdeep, the intergenerational clash within the Congress, number one, and the weakness at the top leadership has made the party extremely fragile, right?
You know, that's
So-
someone told me today on the Hindi channel Manisha Priyam, जब जब सत्ता जाती है तब तब कांग्रेस टूटती है. That the Congress is a party which is completely glued together by power. It is unable to handle being in the opposition. The fact is Jyotiraditya Scindia lost the elections of the Lok Sabha just 9 months ago. It seems he is unable to handle the fact that now he has a tough ride back. Yes, the Madhya Pradesh Congress and Kamal Nath and Digvijay Singh will have much to answer for in the way they handled Mr. Scindia. But what about Mr. Scindia himself? Could he have waited a bit longer, you think, or it was simply too late in the day?
No, Mr. Scindia lost that seat of his, which was also a very comfortable family bastion, to an old worker. And there are statements made by his family that I don't want to talk about here. But Mr. Yadav, who he lost to, he was asking for a ticket himself. So Mr. Scindia is guilty of exactly the same. He could not get his workers the tickets that they wanted. And therefore, he stands against him. And the person who defeats him is an erstwhile worker. So Mr. Scindia's own, except for the fact that he was very close to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, was often seen assisting Rahul Gandhi in the points that he was making, especially on the Land Acquisition Act, I remember. So many other moments you would see him by his side. Otherwise, on the ground, I don't know what charisma.
So why didn't Rahul Gandhi reach out to him? So why didn't the Rahul Gandhi, ma'am? The question arises: why didn't the Rahul Gandhi then reach out to if Jyotiraditya Scindia was such a close confidant of Rahul Gandhi? Why didn't Rahul Gandhi stake his political equity into this battle? Rahul Gandhi seems to have left the party presidentship. By all indications, he still remote controls certain decisions. Could he not have stepped in and said, and made a greater effort to ensure, tell Kamal Nath that I want Jyotiraditya Scindia as the Madhya Pradesh Congress chief?
No, he is not a serious full-time chief of the Congress party. God knows, for whatever reasons, he leaves the whole thing, then he wants to come back. Then I hear there are posters that are going to bring him back. But I can tell you very confidently that a lot of the loyalists, so to say, even soon after the Delhi elections, you saw daggers were out because, you know, a deceased late Mrs. Sheila Dikshit's name had been dragged into a controversy. So
Yes.
Clearly the Congress party is living in some old-time feuds and pursuits, not clearly linked to what the real politic on the ground is about. And if under those circumstances, if they lose a big name like Scindia, which was an asset for this party, remember this party was able to split the Scindia family from the center. Madhavrao Scindia defeated none other than Atal Bihari Vajpayee himself. And that family asset, that asset of a big name in Madhya Bharat with the Congress party is
Right.
gone today.
Okay,
and
but
that's something that Rahul Gandhi must clearly take the responsibility for.
You know, that's precisely it. What about Rahul Gandhi? You know, Rahul Gandhi, it seems, doesn't stand up for his so-called friends in a moment of crisis. You say that Jyotiraditya Scindia was keen, Javed, on the Madhya Pradesh Congress chief's post. Could Rahul Gandhi not have ensured that? I mean, in Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel has given up his presidentship once he became chief minister. Why couldn't that happen in Madhya Pradesh? They knew this was a fragile government. They knew that Scindia had his ambitions. Rahul Gandhi seems not to be able to stand up for someone who, at least publicly, is seen to be a confidant or a friend.
Look, in the good old days when the Congress was riding high, the Congress president and the central high command's writ used to run. That writ is weakened. They cannot enforce. I am told that when Kamal Nath met Mrs. Gandhi a couple of weeks ago, she advised him, she suggested to him that he take Scindia in as the PCC chief. At which point Kamal Nath is supposed to have said, look, I cannot run a government successfully with such a hostile PCC chief breathing down my neck. So this is, look, Mr. Scindia also, if Mr. Scindia has a lot going for him, but there are some questions he needs to answer. He lost his seat.
Yes.
Till the other day, he was the deputy leader at this young age of the Congress party. What else? You know, you need to wait your time. There are people in politics who spend their lifetime and who are not any less talented. Maybe they don't have the dynastic pedigree, but they're not in any way less talented. Yet, you know, you need to wait your time. The problem with this young generation is they're in too much of a hurry. Everything has to be instant.
Okay,
they are
bit
not
like
willing to do that.
Okay, bit like our newsroom at times, I guess. It happens in newsrooms, it happens in politics as well. Let's take a break. When we return, there's plenty more news ahead. This is our continuous coverage of the big story of the moment. The Madhya Pradesh government of Kamal Nath looks like it's sinking and sinking fast. One of the poster boys of the Congress has left. It is all set to join the BJP. Okay, more breaking news that's coming in at the moment on the battle in Madhya Pradesh. We are now told that the political suspense is likely to continue for a couple of days because the Madhya Pradesh governor Lalji Tandon is scheduled to return to Bhopal from Lucknow only on the 12th of March. That's on Thursday. The governor, we are told, is monitoring the situation as of now from Lucknow, consulting legal advisors on what is a rapidly emerging situation in Madhya Pradesh. Remember, 22 MLAs have at the moment sent in their resignation letters, but whether the speaker will accept them right away is still uncertain. Rahul Srivastava, our National Affairs Editor, joins us from Bhopal. Rahul, it looks like you're going to have a long couple of days in Bhopal at the moment. This isn't going to end in the next 24 hours.
Yes, Rajdeep, and it seems that it's going to be a long wait for both the sides as far as a final closure, as far as this political turmoil in Madhya Pradesh is concerned. I'm standing right outside the Chief Minister's residence, where Kamal Nath is closeted with some 65 odd MLAs. All the leaders who are going in were not feeling very enthusiastic about the future. As you said, the governor is not in town. Till now, when I spoke to top sources in the governor house, they said that the governor is not changing his plans till right now. He'll return most probably on the 12th. The BJP is tightening the screws, is trying to get more members to make the majority much more convincing and cripple the Congress virtually in Madhya Pradesh. The other element is trying to ensure that the speaker does not create a situation. So all the MLAs' resignations are given to the governor house, and it is the governor house which sent the resignations to the speaker. So the speaker now can't say that he hasn't received them. He can still say that I will scrutinize them, whether they were given under duress or under some kind of allurement. But the fact remains that the political battle is perhaps going to protract over the next few days, in which the speaker, the governor, and of course the BJP and the Congress are going to play a critical role. But the departure of Jyotiraditya Scindia, definitely a huge setback for the Congress, I think in Madhya Pradesh and in Delhi, because it has raised questions not only about the Congress capability to create leaders, also to cultivate them, push the Gen Next forward and how to treat them, but also a question mark over the character of the Congress's top family, the first family, whether it is still the final arbiter. The buck, does it stop there with the first family or not?
Can I ask you whether the Congress leadership, you're outside Kamal Nath's house, you said, was it caught completely unawares? Did they have an inkling that so many MLAs may well be leaving? Only last week, 10 MLAs had attempted a similar operation. Then Digvijay Singh and his son had wooed some of them back. Are you telling me that the Congress was completely unaware of what was happening?
No, Rajdeep, that's not possible. This was in the making for a very long time. I'm told by BJP top sources, Rajdeep, today morning traveled with Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan and several BJP leaders from Madhya Pradesh. And what I collected from them, that there was an attempt couple of months ago. The Congress knew that the BJP was attempting. At that time, Scindia could not produce as many leaders. Perhaps the presence of Kamal Nath and Digvijay did not enthuse much confidence. It is the BJP which threw its might behind Jyotiraditya Scindia. Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan told me personally that he has had many meetings with Scindia, convincing him about the situation. But it is the silence from the top Scindia, it seems, found no attempt by the Congress top brass to get him back into the Congress fold or to stop him from going. I think the absence of a Congress top with Rahul Gandhi, still a reluctant leader who is still continuing with his tantrum, while there is speculation that he may come back in April, perhaps that did not help the situation for the Congress. I think Kamal Nath was virtually left alone. Also, I think the old guard in the Congress has somewhere decided that it is going to act in a certain way when it comes to the young guard, like Sachin Pilot in Rajasthan,
Right.
Jyotiraditya Scindia in Madhya Pradesh, Milind Devra in Maharashtra. I think it's that internecine battle which was festering for too long. The fissure was getting widened, and the Congress first family was not there to keep the party together.
You know, that's an interesting point on which to turn to you, Sanjay Jha. You're listening to all this criticism of the Congress's leadership. Clearly, the Congress was unable to get its house in order. We can question Jyotiraditya Scindia's morality in switching sides so swiftly from one side to the other, but the real question will be asked of your leadership and its inability to retain what seems like young talent.
Well, Rajdeep, in short, I think after what happened in Karnataka, where we were in government and it got destabilized after the Lok Sabha elections, all I can say is that we should have been better prepared. After all, in Madhya Pradesh, we were just about at the 50% mark with support from the outside. And the Bharatiya Janata Party's Operation Kamal was frankly a 24/7 operation every day all the way through. So we were always susceptible to, any kind of an internal or an external sabotage. And, what has happened is unfortunate. And I would like to, kind of acknowledge that Jyotiraditya Scindia has got stature. He's a very formidable political personality, has had, remarkable electoral success, very articulate and savvy, and someone who was always seen as one of the future leaders of the Congress party. So a lot of us are very disappointed and we wish it hadn't happened.
You're sounding as if someone who's reconciled himself to the inevitable. On the other hand, Amit Malviya, if what Rahul Srivastav says is true, it is very clear, as I said earlier, that Shivraj Singh Chauhan...
Rajdeep, I can't do a debate, so can I carry on then?
Yeah, no, just a minute, Mr. Jha. I will ask separate questions. I will not have a debate between the two of you.
Okay.
Mr. Malviya, I just want to understand, from what Rahul Srivastav suggested, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan has been in touch with Jyotiraditya Scindia for several months now. What does the BJP gain, in your view, by getting Jyotiraditya Scindia on your side? Was it about simply...
I can't hear you, Rajdeep. I think there's some problem with the audio.
Okay, I will try and get your audio back in a moment. In the meantime, let me come back therefore to you, Sanjay Jha. Mr. Jha...
I can't hear you, Rajdeep. I think there's some problem.
Yeah, Mr. Jha, I want to understand from you that while you say that the Congress should have been better prepared, there will be those who will say, Sanjay Jha, that the Congress has been ill-prepared now for the last 6 years. That, time after time, the Congress is unable to handle crises. And the problem starts at the top. There is no one today for crisis management, faction management of a kind that the Congress was an expert at one stage. And therefore the time has come now for the Congress to either shape up or ship out. Do you agree?
Well, Rajdeep, frankly, my colleague Salman Soz and I recently wrote a very, candid, explicit article in the Times of India in an op-ed, where we put out the facts on the table that, at a time when I'm meeting a lot of people who come and, interact with us and say, listen, we are concerned about the future of the country, and, end of day, the Congress itself can't become, a crisis point itself. I mean, there's a lot at stake, and I agree with you that there are some serious structural fault lines in our party that we don't seem to address. And one of them is that, you need a very decentralized environment. You need very quick responses. The fact of the matter is that Mr. Shah and Mr. Modi have got a very strong appetite for power. So, the Congress has not faced such kind of fierce, at times very unhinged and unprincipled opposition as they are facing for the last, 5-6 years, and we are encountering I think at the moment a very severe shall we say crisis of confidence, because we are dealing with very dangerous opponents who are capable of destabilizing a very properly legitimate elected government. So, but the fact is that is politics. I mean, you have to play it, you have to find a way to survive, and end of day there is a situation at the moment where the country's democracy and constitutional future itself is endangered. And therefore I think as I'm a Congress party person, ideologically there, we'll be with the Congress party even if we had 0 seats. And therefore a lot of us are worried because end of day, if we are going to lose Karnataka and Madhya Pradesh, which had begun to change the map of India, which looked blue and not saffron for a while, if these are going to go away, I'm not saying that Madhya Pradesh is gone yet. I mean, we will try and see what alternatives happen. But we definitely look extremely fragile. And that is a matter of great concern. And I think the party has to address it internally. I need to be very honest with you, Rajdeep, and tell you that a lot of leaders from our party I have heard recently saying, criticizing Jyotiraditya Scindia. It's easy to do that, but he's left the party, and therefore there will be people who will find a lot of faults. But the fact is that we need to look internally within, because if you're going to lose leaders of his stature, and I'm sure that he's not somebody who just walked into BJP on day one. I mean, I'm sure he was equally reluctant to do so. We have to do some serious homework at our end. There are vulnerabilities for the entire democratic future of this country, and I think the Congress party needs to be the linchpin of a comeback. And if we look fragile, I'm sorry, but that's not good news.
I'm glad to see a congressman being so honest and virtually accepting that there is something seriously wrong in the way the party is functioning at the moment. Do you really expect, though, anything to change? This is a status quo-ish party, or at least the present leadership has been principally status quo-ish. When they took the decision to bring back Sonia Gandhi as interim Congress president, effectively they were saying, we are taking no risks. I mean, therefore, do you really expect the likes of of Sanjay Jha to be listened to? I read his article also suggesting there should be organizational elections. You need an elected leadership. You need to encourage new energies, talents, ideas. Do you really expect it to happen?
Well, let me put it this way, Rajdeep, that if the Congress doesn't do something, change in leadership, change in organizational structure, bringing about elections at various levels, if they do not go ahead, then the Congress is, heading to commit what we call political harakiri. And since 2018 December, the Congress fortunes had begun changing. They won 3 assembly elections. In Gujarat, they had done so well. They ended up as an ally winning in Jharkhand. So what I'm saying is, if they don't do that, then again it goes back to that entire picture of what Amit Shah used to at one time
Congress
say,
Mukta
Bharat. So it's the Congress's misjudgments, the Congress's lack of feedback from its internal organization, not realizing the strength of leaders like Jyotiraditya Scindia. I mean, he was a real jewel in many ways. So letting him go is certainly the Congress is committing what I would call political harakiri.
Is it political harakiri at the moment, or are reports of the death of the Congress Manisha Priyam grossly exaggerated, to use what Mark Twain said in another context? Do you believe that we should be, that this is yet another nail in the Congress coffin? That here is the patient in ICU, and suddenly one of its best doctors, in a way, has also chosen to leave and switch to the other side?
No, I think we need to look at it in 2 ways. I don't think Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia was its best doctor or anything like that, but he was certainly someone who, in terms of the image, was very close to Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So it's like getting the person closest to Mr. Rahul Gandhi to walk over to the other side. He was the person who was seen assisting Rahul Gandhi, stammering, stuttering in his speeches. He was seen, enthusing Rahul Gandhi to go for the jugular, to take on the attack, and you get the person next to him. So the visual optics is very, very strong. But the bigger issue here is that almost 20 of your MLAs have crossed over to the other side. What were you doing? Certainly there was something larger than just Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia, which was wrong with the way the Congress government was working in Madhya Pradesh, and that's something the Congress party in the center was not aware of.
Right.
So clearly there is a situation where the center in the Congress party is a very weak center. The leadership model is very, very effective. And I dare say today that the Gandhis at this point of time have been unable to lead it in too many rehashed formats. First one comes, then there was speculation of both leading. Then Uttar Pradesh is split into East and West. Nobody understood why. Then Sonia Gandhi is brought back. Prior formats that are not chronologically in order were also of Sheila Dikshit being portrayed as Chief Minister for Uttar Pradesh, Sonia Gandhi going. So clearly they have remained very, very focused and centric on the Gandhi family as of now. And I do think that that model is unable to hold the Congress together any longer.
That's an interesting point, that the Gandhi family model is unable to hold the Congress together. But Amit Malviya, what is it that what is the BJP's overarching game plan here? Is it to ensure that all dissident, neglected, frustrated congressmen, disillusioned congressmen are brought on your side? Is that what you want to do today, Jyotiraditya Scindia? Who knows, tomorrow some other young leaders? Is that what you want to do? Do you want to make the BJP, as someone said, not India Congress Mukt, but the BJP Congress Yukt? You want congressmen on your side?
Look, Rajdeep, I think people like Jyotiraditya Scindia and the others that you spoke about, whether it's Jitin Prasada or Milind Deora or Sachin Pilot, these are people who have their own mind and they know which side is their interests served better. If they choose to come with the BJP, if they choose to subscribe to the worldview and the ideology that we run our party on, accept the leadership of Prime Minister Modi and make that call, it is their call. Really,
but it's very interesting, Mr. Malviya, all the four names.
And solicit these people who might be disgruntled.
But it's very interesting, all the four names that you mentioned and which we've been speaking about are all Dinas. All their fathers also were in the party. Now, the Prime Minister speaks about Namdar versus Kamdar. It seems you want all the Namdar congressmen to come and join you?
No, Rajdeep, I don't want any one of them to come and join us. The fact is that in the Congress party, one dynasty is more equal than the others. For example, you look at YSR Congress and Jagan Reddy. He also was a dynast, but he wasn't given the space in Congress. He eventually formed his own party and today he's running the state government. Where is the Congress leadership there? Whereas on the other side, some of the other leaders that we spoke about have somehow chosen to languish in the Congress party and have not made any decision whatsoever. Now it all depends on their politics, their worldview, the amount of effort they want to put in. So each one of them is going to decide for themselves. As far as the BJP is concerned, look, we are not a charitable organization. We are a political party, and of course if we get an opportunity to claw back to power where we are not in power, we will do it. And it is very much within us to do so legitimately. If 22 MLAs of the Congress walk out over Kamal Nath, is it the BJP's problem? Please explain to me.
No, but are there any rules?
Jyotiraditya Scindia walks out on the Gandhis, is it the BJP's problem?
But are there any rules in Goa?
Of course there are rules. The rules are that numbers decide who governs.
Sure. But in, the BJP used to always speak of Chehra, Chal, Charitra. What happens to all that? You take a Narayan Rane in Maharashtra. You take a Ganesh Naik in Maharashtra, both accused of serious crimes in their time. You take in Goa people who have been accused of being Matka kings, of alleged rapists. I'm just asking you, is the BJP in Karnataka also, you've taken people who have questionable dealings in the past. You've taken a Mukul Roy in Bengal. Is the BJP basically saying, we will do whatever it takes to come to power? There is no Chehra, Chal, Charitra anymore in Indian politics.
Rajdeep, as long as the BJP does not deviate from its programs, from its ideology, it doesn't matter if some people have had a change of heart and today subscribe to what we stand for and amend their ways and join the party. It's as simple as that. The people who you name may have had a certain past, but in the BJP, they are not at the luxury of repeating their past. So that is what is important. So the BJP remains steadfast on its principles. Now, in a way, if a Jyotiraditya Scindia or a Pilot or a Prasada or anyone else decides tomorrow that they wish to join the BJP and they have had a change of heart and they subscribe to it, why will we not sort of welcome them. We are not a NGO at the end of it. We are not like a club that is looking at purists.
Okay.
We're a political party. We have all shades
made the
of
point.
people, but we don't compromise on what we stand for, and that is very important.
Open door policy is effectively what Amit Malviya is suggesting. Join us, reflect a change in heart, you're all welcome. Effectively saying today Jyotiraditya Scindia, tomorrow it could well be even a Sachin Pilot.
Yeah, and it hasn't taken even a fortnight for Mr. Scindia to have a change of heart. There's a tweet of his as late as 26th of last month when he says, BJP leaders have got to stop spreading the politics of hate. This was in reference to the riots in Northeast Delhi. It hasn't even been a fortnight and he's had a change of heart today. He's willing to embrace. But this is not the first time that we've seen these ideological catapults.
Sure.
It has happened in the past. It will continue happening. Ideology has become passé. Ideology and consistency in Indian politics, unfortunately, is a thing of the past.
You know, in a sense, Dr. Shastri, you know, if you could turn back to the era of the Bhajan Lals where there used to be wholesale defections, now we have retail defections. You bring in a tall leader like Jyotiraditya Scindia in Madhya Pradesh, he brings along his supporters. It seems that this is the model. You know, earlier you had, in the Bhajan Lal era, entire parties defected. Now you look for specifically well-targeted individuals who carry a certain credibility and then can bring others along with him. This is, it seems, is the new way.
Rajdeep, this is the mockery of the anti-defection provision where now, rather than changing your party, you resign, change your party and then come back to the house under the new colors. Karnataka showed it, other states are showing it, and now I think Madhya Pradesh is taking that lead. And I think the stand which the BJP spokesperson took is extremely interesting, where he says that as long as you continue to hold on to the ideological positions of the party, your past is forgiven, you are with us, and you will be welcome within the party. And I think, as I said in my earlier intervention, it seems very clear that what is likely to happen in the coming weeks and months has been put forward before us today.
Interesting. So we have a glimpse into the future. An effective open door policy perhaps, provided that the leader has a change in heart, to use the words of the BJP spokesperson, and is willing to accept the policies of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Interestingly, remember, Jyotiraditya Scindia on Article 370 had backed the government and gone against his party line.
Yes, saying that this is in accordance with popular will and the Congress party should not be opposing it.
So there were straws in the wind and they've been blowing for a while now.
And he's indicated that in his letter. He says this has been this change that I've been thinking of this for almost a year.
For almost a year, but as you also rightly pointed out, just a fortnight ago in the context of the Northeast Delhi riots, Jyotiraditya Scindia seemed to blame the BJP for the politics of hate. इसे कहते हैं राजनीति.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.